Hey guys, what I'm working on today is a 2000 Mercury Sable. It's got the 3-liter dual overhead cam on it. And this guy developed a big time coolant leak out of that rusty water pump inlet tube is what they call it. Just rotted right out. The cheapest I found this guy for was like $109. It also ranged up to about $150 over the counter at whatever parts store that I called. So I came up with this idea where I'm just going to run that guy with rubber hose, a couple elbows, not have to worry about it rotting out again. Then while I'm looking at this guy, I see there's a crack right there in that harmonic pulley. Interesting, I don't know how that happened, but I got another one over there on the bench from that engine over there, which came out of a 2000 something Taurus, had to put a motor in it. So pretty easy to get this inner wheel well liner off. There's a couple Phillips screws right there, one more right there, and then from the bottom they shoot up a 5.5 millimeter screw. You can take this whole liner right out. There's a couple push-in plastic pins throughout them holes, so it ain't too bad, and then it's all accessible. So up here, to get more room in here, I pulled out that cooling fan, which this little plastic wire loom holder, there's one screw, 7 millimeter, and there's one screw that holds the fan assembly in. That was like an 8 millimeter. And then you got the electrical plug, which you just push on the tab in the hole and kind of pull it, and then they got the loom pushed into there. You pull that out, and then it's all accessible, because that's the other end of that tube right there. I already slid the spring clamp off, getting ready to rip that out of there, but I got to pull that serpentine belt off first to gain some access. And I got to change that pulley anyways, which is reverse thread to get it off. There's arrows on it, and I think that was a 5/8 or something fits that from the other ones that I've changed. So I picked up this rubber hose here from Napa. It's a 3-foot stick for, I think it was like right around 28 to 30 bucks. Picked these guys up for under $2 a piece. I bought 2 of them just in case. They will take the heat rating, the cooling system. So I'm gonna see, once I get that out, I'll match it. I did some other looking around. They do make a universal radiator hose that's got the spring inside of it to do all them flexies and corners and all that. And I think it's 1.5 inches on both ends, ID 21 inches long, this universal hose. But I've also read it gets kind of iffy by that belt area there, especially when it heats up. What I'm working at now is getting this serpentine belt off. And they have this little, this is a little splash shield that protects the alternator. And a little 5.5 millimeter screw. Just slip that shield right out of there, because in my opinion it's easier to access. Oh, it's hard to see it. That's the belt tensioner right there. It's got a 15 millimeter, fits the wrench, put it on there, and then, you know, pull down on it and get this belt off, which I already started to do. And then make sure you got your wrench positioned far enough back, because when you take the belt off and then the spring tension, it doesn't ram your wrench up into here and get stuck. So the further back you can get it, the better. And I'm going to just zip that harmonic out right there. So yeah, that's a 5/8 socket. I pounded it on there, and I got it in forward position, and I haven't touched it yet, so we're going to see what happens. Alright, so from what you saw, that pulley did not want to move. So, take an air hammer and hit it right here, you know, and then, yeah, then you just spins right off. So like I said, I don't know what caused that to crack, but it's bad. So that's that little guy right there. Crazy money for that. It's crazy. The clamp just fell right out as I was pulling it, or the crimp clamp fell right out of there as I was pulling it out. So what you got, I took it out from this way, so I kind of did a rotate, and then it spun right out of there. A little Rubik's Cube type of spin twist. This is what I got going so far. I cut 8.5 inches to duplicate this part. I pre-tightened this clamp, and I'm putting it facing inboard because I know there's no obstacles in that vicinity that this is gonna. And then this clamp, I'm gonna have it be on this way, so I can get right to it from the bottom when I get it in there. But I'm not going to tighten it because for rotating purposes, I'll just snug it, and then get yourself some white lithium grease. Makes things slide together a little bit easier. Well, at this point I got it slid on all the way. You can kind of see it up there. Put that hose clamp on that guy right off the bat so I don't forget. And then this is where she ends up, which I didn't tighten the hose clamp over there in case I got to rotate this. But you see why I put the clamp facing inboard, because then it's not rubbing on that other hose or the radiator support or anything there. So it'd be nice in an ultimate world if that hose will do a slight, you know, a real soft swoop, and I might try that. So if not, then just lop it off and put that other elbow in right here. Well, that piece of hose, 6.25 inches. This one, 5. And once again, I put the screw part of the clamp facing inboard. This one I rotated as far back as I could. That one I know that ain't going to be an issue near the belt. So, and then I wanted to do just that single swoop, but I don't want to take a chance of the hose kinking just for the cost of 2 clamps, you know, and a whatever, under $2, $1.79 or whatever for this elbow. So that's pretty taut right there. I mean, it's, start putting the rest of it back together. I still got to tighten the clamp on the other end. Got the harmonic back on, belts back on, plenty of room between there, and because this hose is so, you know, it's stiff, good braided hose, it stays in place there. And another thing that I did before putting that on, there's these 2 timing cover bolts, that one, and there's another one tucked behind there. They got studs sticking out of them like this, which nothing goes on them, you know, no wire loom. Like that wire loom slides over that part of the stud part. So I just took my cutoff wheel just to get them out of the way. And I just zipped them off and I shot some paint on it. So you lower it down and evacuate the system with the airlift. All back together and running. Kind of see a new clamp down there. That airlift tool I used in one of my Explorer intake manifold changes. Excellent tool to buy. About 200 bucks, 180, 160, wherever you find it from. But it sucks down the system and makes sure there's no other leaks. This one held about 25 on the gauge, and then I walked away and it held, so we got no other leaks. Test drive done. So that concludes another repair video. Thanks for watching.